Yes, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Today, why?
Morning, sir.
Very good morning. Okay, so we can start. Meanwhile, whoever wants to join, let them join. Okay, so yesterday now we have shed lights on you know important factors of behavior. So behavior is the result of the person and the environment. P and E. And the topic is personality, perception, and then attribution means personality traits. We say right, perceptions, all that, attitudes, everything. Attribution, particular qualities of human beings, and the roots of all these is from psychology. And there are different branches of psychology. So we generally call it interactive or interactional psychology. So because psychoanalysis is another branch, and so that's the reason. Um, Clinical psychology, another branch, right? So this is personality related interactional or interact. It's like uh, it's communication. It's like revealance of personality. So that's the reason interactional psychology we call it. Look at the definition: behavior. So behavior is a function of continuous multi-directional interaction between person and situation, person and environment, person and the society, person and the institution. So, what are the two important factors here? Individual, the person, then rest of the thing, society, institution, you know, um, public, right? And environment, that's what, situation is portrayed, environment. This is what the behavior is, a continuous interaction. You know, it's not like one time behavior. When you get particular type of mindset, and then that can be going, until at the end of your life. No, so there is a possibility for you to change. There is change is inevitable. Change is inevitable. Everything can be changed. Change itself. You know, G.V. Shaw said, anything can be changed except the word change. So that is what the philosophy of so continuous interaction. When you interact, when you negotiate, we'll also study negotiation skills soon after this. It means you know uh, what kind of interaction, negotiation and involvement with the society, involvement with the people, right? Involvement in the system, public system, and the root. There's a connection between personal and public. Am I right? Is there a connection? Right? One should be satisfied personally, then he can do something for the public. Or if one is not satisfied, one is not happy, one doesn't have any plans, one doesn't have any future plans. If one becomes lazy, he cannot engage with anything else, anyone else. So therefore, I'm not telling one should be happy, but not all the time. Happiness is a tricky word. It's like that's the reason. Suffering is inevitable. That's what. Uh, Buddha said. So everyone in their life, one or another way, should face the suffering. So therefore, and with this type of complexity of human mind, suffering is not like physically, right? Mentally, all the time. You see, we don't have positive opinion, right? Positive feelings, right? Sometimes we get nervous, tension, unhappy, mood out, right? And you know, all of a sudden, you get anger. What is the reason? That's all, environment, right? So psychology has answer for all this. We have to understand the mind. So mind is behavior is the this is what the psychology behavior. Continuous. If you're silent, if you're alone, if you feel outsider in the society, if you feel yourself, not inside, as far as society is concerned, your behavior is limited, right? So this is a society. Uh, when we are born and brought up in particular limited network, right? When you go to school, that is democratic place all over the world, you learn to expose yourself. What you learn to expose yourself to the outside world, the people from different backgrounds, language background, community background, regional background, cultural background, right? Religious background, many, whatnot. So in the process of interacting with all this heterogeneous community, heterogeneous people, your personality, your behavior will be changed. Your behavior will be broadened. You will get liberal, you know, instead of rigid, flexible behavior. Flexible behavior. Person now, active in process. What is person? Changed by situation. Changes situations. Here, person means personality, perceptions, attitude, values, and ethics. And then, person is influenced by environment. After that, result is behavior, right? Active, in a process, person, changed all the time. That's certain person, physically, not only physically, mentally, culturally, socially, economically, there's a possibility for a person to change, right? I was not like, today in this year, I was different from last year. I can say, right? I'm totally different from, and I compare myself, uh, in the 10 year, as reference to 10 years ago. So, right? When you see, you yourself ask questions, are you the same in last year? And have you changed yourself from last year to this year? That is obviously, certainly there's a change in you. Some people say it, if they don't like you, what happened? They say, no, 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 you changed a lot. I never expected, this from you. Did you listen this statement? Right? Right? Can anybody?
Yes, sir.
It is. This is a this is a tricky, right? This is completely confusing person. So it means they expected you to not to change. They have expectation, and you have to be like that only. You have to be submissive. You have to be same, for entire life, so that they like, they help you. They you know they say, you are also part of us. All the things. If you change, they don't like. The society doesn't like the people change a lot. Who change a lot. That is, that is the different. right? This is gonna keep in mind this thing. How, fixed mindset, fixed mindset people don't like, changing mind. It means they may like, but the thing is that there is no data whether they like her, but they don't tolerate immediately the changes, and so therefore, they, they refuse to accept the changes immediately. Time teaches them. Time teaches them, at last they have to do. People vary in many characteristics. Obviously, one person is not like other person. This is true, right? To situational interpretations, objective, the scientific, we say, evidence based, and a subjective point of situation. Personal, personal based, personal opinion based. The two type of, situations. Subjective and individual opinions, and individually one can change. On the objective, there is a certain here objective situation is, and system oriented, organized, what I can say, uh, environment, the result of organized environment. Like, if you get the degree, you change in a way that is expected, in the, in the outcomes of educational course. That is object, everyone, applies. Whoever enters into the degree, into the course will be, uh, you know will be getting the results of, changes, because that are set in advance, right? And personal, subjective opinion may or may not be so effective, then objective situation. That is why, so we have a system, we have a educational structure, different type of courses, different type of levels of education, from school to university or institution of higher learning. So when you enroll that, when you involve yourself, when you negotiate, when you interact yourself with the people who are surrounding you in a situation, in a system, in an institution, obviously change comes to you. Obviously change comes to you. Yeah, already I told, the personality is, this is what the personality things are there. Now, simple, a relatively stable set of characteristics that influences an individual behavior. Right? So these are, relatively, there is a connected relation, one to another. You cannot separate. Stable, what does it mean? Stable means equal, uh, everything should be balanced. Values should be balanced, all these ethics should be balanced. Perceptions should be balanced. Mindset, attitudes, everything has to be balanced. Skills and also has to be stable. That influences individual behavior. That's what, we say, that influences individual behavior. It's a connected to environment. Out of environment, the result is behavior. That's what the personality. Person, the definition of person, here is close to the definition of personality. Now there are theories, you see, uh, psychology, has developed different type of theories of personality. See how many are here? 4 theories. Wait. Why people, some of never joined here. It says like they're in our other. Others from chart. What does it mean? Are they in our class? It says like others from chart. Are they out of this class? Do you have any idea? Anybody has an idea?
Yes, sir.
They're in the class itself, no? Chat, other from chat. Okay, so keep this mind, into consideration. Yeah. Trait theory, what is traits, qualities, abilities, right? How do we say it's like features, particular features, characteristics, that's what, features of, human mind, persons. This theory, helps us to understand individuals by, by making us to divide into different behavioral patterns. They can be, observed. They can be observed. That's what, understand individuals by breaking down behavior patterns into observable traits, so that through behaviors, we can observe the features of particular person, psychological features of particular person, mind features, see the mindset of particular, so through how they speak, what is behavior? Yes, behaviors, how their attitude is, how they value, how, what are their ethics, what is their environment, what is their personal life, what is their job nature, right? So everything can be observed, everything can be tested, in psychology. The question comes, how do I test? It's just observation. That's all. This is like psychology is mind. You have to observe. Behavior. Okay, so there is a in behavior. When I say person is internal, hidden, influenced by environment, right? And the result is behavior. Behavior is not hidden. Is behavior hidden or revealed? Yes. Are you clear? Are you sure? No. Have you had an idea? What is behavior? Is it hidden? Or is it can be revealed?
It can be revealed.
Yes. So it is external, you can observe the behavior, how the person speaks, how any other person speaks, how he responds when you start interaction. Suppose some people, when you write in a WhatsApp, Facebook, some people, even if you ask question, they don't want to tell answer, right? So that I see this is a behavior pattern, right? Right. So that's what one has to think about it. Psychodynamic theory. What is psychodynamic? Psycho is Not mentally imbalanced, right? Psycho is a mind. Dynamic is like, continuous change, right? Powerful. So this is, this is emphasizes the, unconscious determinants of behavior. You see, where is that Freud's theory here? 1 minute. Okay, I'm just telling you generally. It's not included here. Psychodynamic theory is very important. This is easy, trait theory, behavior, can be observed, individual behaviors. And this is psychodynamic theory is complex. And how do I explain this? Okay, I'll come to that point later. Now we'll see this humanistic theory refers to the right, let's go. The development, the growth of improvement of every individual. How one person developed individually, how the development of individuals happen. This theory tells us. Look at fourth one, integrative approach. See here, the personality, is treated like composite, mixture, combination of an individual's psychological processes. See, psychology develops theory, not individually, generally. It takes into account some parts of mind behaviors individually, but theory is a result of, collective testing, collective, judgment of many. That is, father of psychology, Sigmund Freud, uh, was a doctor, and he taught, uh, mentally imbalanced patients in his clinic about 40 years, and observed many people, mentally imbalanced people, like, psychiatrist, he's a psychiatrist, not psychiatrist, psychoanalyst. So after all, he after he analyzed, he cured a lot of diseases, mental diseases of patients. He said the reason for all these mentally imbalances, he developed a theory that is called as, uh, unconscious roots. Freud's theory, it talks about 3 words. Just I'm telling you, I can write here, what is it? Chart. Okay. He uses the words. Okay, so have you all got the chart message?
Yes, sir.
More word I'm just using. Okay. So, Eid, we call it. ID means Eid. Second one is ego. Third one is superego. Eid, ego, superego. Then another level, conscious, subconscious, unconscious. Now, there are 6 words here. And how do we understand this? This is very theory, we have to know first thing. Because this applies to our mind. We know these words are ego. Everybody knows ego word, right? Ego. Are you aware of the word ego? Somebody say no, egoistic, don't be egoistic, Yeah. So that is
Yes,
that's
sir.
not the same meaning here. Psychologist tells another meaning. Uh, uh, okay. Psychology is a little positive meaning here. Not meaning is same, but not negative. So now 6 words. 3 words is one statement. One statement is covered 3 words. Ego, superego. Okay. Another statement covered included another 3 words. Conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. So now, and be careful this, it's very interesting because, I need to explain now. Otherwise, psychodynamic, because this is very, very important, because here nobody teaches psychology in our institute. That's what, we have to know, right? Though I'm a teacher of English, but I studied psychology a little bit, I can tell you. Our mind, human mind, anybody, including all of us, including me, you, everyone, from the birth to death. So human mind consists of 3 domains. 3 domains. What are they? Second line, second line. Tell me.
Conscious, subconscious, and unconscious.
Conscious,
Okay,
subconscious, unconscious.
wonderful. So every human mind, including us, you know, is a part of human mind. Includes 3 aspects: conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. Now, what is the weightage of human mind? The question comes: 90% of human mind all the time is in unconscious. Unconscious. How much? What is conscious?
90.
What is
90%.
conscious? Yeah, what is conscious? Being
Things we are
aware of.
aware of.
Yeah, being aware of something, or being aware of ourselves, being aware of. So now think about, you see, unconscious is against of this. You know, you're not aware of many times. You are not aware of. You are not aware of. He has written a wonderful book called Interpretation of Dreams. If you are interested, if you read that book, human mind, you can understand anybody's mind. Just if you observe, when you talk to the person, whether he's good or bad. Potentiative. Now, there is another part, 5% is subconscious. 5%. Little bit, 50%, 50-50. 50% is conscious, 50% is, somebody asks question, I know, but I cannot remember, right? And you say, I know, but I cannot remember. What does it mean? This is what? Subconscious.
Subconscious.
You know, but you cannot remember. You cannot aware of it. You are not aware of it, but you have, earlier somewhere you have the past, you remembered it, you know that, you studied it. And 5% of our human mind only, is conscious. Only 5%. Only 5%. And if you Google, you'll see this. What is the strength of consciousness? That is why, consciousness is ultimate, full of awareness, full, human mind. Then, what knowledge, way in which way, in which field knowledge exists? Tell me, conscious or subconscious or unconscious? Knowledge passes through conscious. If you are conscious, knowledge, you grab knowledge, and it leads to it enters to another state subconscious, and then stores in unconscious. Stores in unconscious. Right. Therefore, right. Most of the time, if you think, you have studied the book complete, you have 200 pages, you have read it, all the chapters, you read it, and then, you know, you remember. Can you remember all the time at a time? Tell me. No.
No,
Right?
sir.
So where is that
No.
storage? Storage is in unconscious. Storage is in, you cannot remember. You are not aware of it. Our mind only captures 5%. Our remembrance is only 5%. Tell me. Our mind, this is what psychology, Sigmund Freud, it is tested, and that's why he's called as father of psychology. Even normal people also. And our ritual practices, our cultural practices, our routine practices, right? When you immediately, even if when you're a drowsy mode, still you haven't, had full of sleep, and some reasons you wake up and immediately, does conscious come to you? No, no, right? Just, go to your daily routine work, washroom and all that. That is what, subconscious, somewhere subconscious, somewhere unconscious. Conscious or unconscious. That is what a mixture of, 50-50, that's called as subconscious. But still, you are not remembering, you are not aware of that. You are not aware of everything. You need time, you need to be fresh, you need to have, fresh wash, all that. Then, activeness comes into your mind. So now again question comes, see, activeness of your human mind lies, lies only in which field?
Consciousness.
Conscious.
Conscious. When I speak something, everyone, unconsciously they do some type of behavior, handshake or hand movements, all that, finger, movement of fingers, legs, all that. Are you aware of, that thing? When you sit in front of computer, when you say something, you tight your hands closely, you move, your legs. Sometime, somebody, puts hand in their neck, whatever, right? Therefore, when you walk, you have to move your, hands, right? If you don't move your hands, what happen, you'll be called as ghost, ghost doesn't, and sometime, it is, it, I heard, I don't know, it, it runs like backyard. Human beings are different. So for Sigmund Freud, Unconscious is also important. It is also storage of gained knowledge. When you say dreams, everybody has dreams night, right? When you sleep. Did you have dreams? Tell me, anyone who doesn't have any dreams.
Sometimes.
Sometimes you have. I know, I'm asking you, whoever doesn't have any dreams. Everyone can have dreams. Now I'm telling you what is dream. That's what an interpretation of dreams, starts with this interesting story of, definition of dreams. Slumdog dreams like he wants to become millionaire. Beggar wants to become millionaire. What is this? Is it a dream? It's a dream, right? You know, you want in your dream, you don't, you are a poor person. Suppose you are a poor person. In a dream, you want to become rich and, you want to enjoy all the facilities, the car, AC, luxurious life, and you want to become, you want to marry, beautiful boy or girl, vice versa, uh, and rich, this is what happens in dream, right? Many people, right? Right? Vicious, right? Dreams are nothing but, the definition of dreams, Sigmund Freud gave. Dreams are unfulfilled wishes in the past. What are the dreams? Dreams are unfulfilled wishes, that occurred through childhood. When you're a child, you just had a lot of dreams, you feel like, big adult, and then you enjoy many things, in a dream. Are you sure? Did you cross this stage? Say yes. No problem. I know if
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
you have a wishes, you have a wishes. You'll have a wishes. Okay, you want to become, big person. You want to become big, big, big. But you enjoy in the process of dreaming. Dreams. That's why slumdog millionaire. Slumdog wants to become millionaire. That's psychology. Why Slumdog Millionaire, has won Oscar award? There's a psychology theory behind it. No other movies, can win Oscar awards. Scientific approach. And there's a fight. There's interaction of that boy, between conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. When somebody asks questions, all that is stored in his unconscious can be remembered. He has a capacity to bring that into conscious. Right? Right? When you see the film, right? How many of you saw the film? Many, I think.
Yes,
Nobody.
sir.
Many.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that's what, right? He remembers. How he remembers? Where did he get all the information? When somebody asks questions.
Childhood.
That is what childhood, and that is stored in unconscious. That's stored in unconscious. That is why crore banega. What is that statement? Some of the shows, TV shows are coming.
कौन
Right?
बनेगा करोड़?
कौन बनेगा करोड़पति?
All these, in regional languages also, because this is what human mind. This is what human mind. You know, it's not like you read some information from book and then tell, it's in front of, after doing by heart all that. Suppose if you do by heart, rote learning, there's a possibility for complete forget. Even that doesn't exist even in unconscious also. Right? Right. So therefore, learning has again, and I'm not talking about the theories of learning, I know, but that is another topic. So therefore, you know, decide, just fix in your mind. Okay, the human mind is all the time unconscious, right? Unconscious doesn't mean that you forget. You know, knowledge is stored. Knowledge is, I can say, information is stored, in the domain called unconscious. But you have to do struggle, and you have to do struggle. You have to do interact between these two, and then only 5% level you can. Uh, See, therefore, see, 3 hours exam, final year exam, or end semester exam, right? After, teaching 50 hours or 40 hours or 30 hours minimum, if it's a semester, if it's a non-semester, 50 hours. After, learning 50 hours and studying more than, 200 hours, you know, exam is all about just for 3 hours. Why? Whatever is stored, exam is to test you how much knowledge is stored in your unconscious mind. And then I know even, uh, uh, only, 5% is the subconscious between 5 to 10. Yeah, right. That can, remember and then write exam, right. If I speak 1 hour, what happens, I'm just my mind, after 1 hour, just 10-15 minutes only is conscious, complete conscious. After that, I have to put my effort, mental effort, to recall uh, the information stored in unconscious. So that this is what the mind. And then what is the ego? Sorry, id, ego, and super ego. Id is unconscious. Id is unconscious. Ego is subconscious. Super ego is, sorry, no, wait. Id is unconscious. Ego is, I'm writing here. Wait, don't get to get. Id is conscious, and is conscious. Super ego is conscious. Sub, yeah, sub spelling. So, and then roots for unconscious, I'm telling you, this unconscious works on based on our pleasure principle, satisfaction. When you're conscious all the time, you're not satisfied. I'm telling you. Psychology talks about, don't get me wrong, there's another, if you're interested, get some courses, I told you, on psychology, NPTEL, basic psychology, human mind. So he, is, wait, something, he, I said, spelling mistake. Wait. This, note down. Unconscious, ego is conscious. Ego is conscious, self-aware of that. Ego means self-aware, not overactive. Ego is positive here. Okay, so ego, id means unconscious. Ego is conscious. Superego is subconscious. 50-50. Now I'm telling you, I'll give you example also. Eid means, when I said Eid, are you all together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Eid is
Yes, sir.
unconscious. That is what that works based on the pleasure. When you look at animal world, apart from human beings, other organisms, what is their life purpose? Eat, sleep, die. Don't worry about the conscious part, right? When you eat something very delicious or whatever it is, you satisfied or not? You'll feel happy or pleasure or not? I'm again coming to the very straight to my point. Fulfillment of desires. Fulfillment of desires. You know, the work, fulfillment of desires works in the level of unconscious. Somebody sees a movie like a romantic movie, and then, you know, actor should be strong, He can't be conscious. If he's a conscious and he cannot do good performance in romantic scenes. Am I right or not? Tell me, if you have any confusion. So some people, why this fellow is speaking like, very imbalanced type of things. Some people think, I know. Yeah. Right? So fulfillment of desires, you know, different desires from different person to person. I know. Emotional needs. That's why, what is the purpose of animal world? Birds, animals, are they all the time conscious, or are they simply care about their desires, eating, all that, and then reproduction of organisms, all that. Human beings also part of the same thing, I know, but only the 5% is different from other organisms. Human beings have different capacity. Only 5% is. Desire fulfillment. That is one thing. Eid, and also that is stored in a culture. It's part of culture, part of psyche, collective psyche. What is it? Part of collective psyche. Now, ego is conscious, aware of knowledge. Ego is a knowledge, wisdom. This is what. Super ego, 50-50 I said, na? Not forgetting, not remembering, but something in between. How do I put it this example? Super ego is, suppose, okay, I'm not giving any name, no problem. Any girl, or boy generally in culture context doesn't happen. So any girl uh, wants to, wear modern dresses, different, like, very different style. A Western Indian girl, wants to wear Western sort of dress. Though the girl is from middle class, or I can say, not advanced family, from not advanced family, like in a middle type of, not like completely, advanced family. But before, she wants to, before wearing her dress, modern dress, she's afraid of the society's norms. You know, she has to think a lot again and again. If she wears this kind of dress, what society, what relatives think, what parents think. Right? If that is what that works, society impositions, society's norms, society's expectation, family expectations, institutional expectations come, stored in the superego. Superego, that controls ego. I'm telling you, what controls super ego? Are we all together?
Subconscious.
Superego controls ego. Subconscious controls, monitors. Society monitors individual. In a word, ego, I said, no, it's a knowledge, it's awareness, and it's also individual. It's also individual. Ego comes from only individual, not in a public, I know. In a public, it comes, it shows like arrogance. Superego is a cultural norm, societal norms that are imposed on individuals. That's why an example. So therefore, the girls, I said example, girl wanted to, wear a modern dress. That is her ego. That is her individual. That is her individuality. That is her self. But what controls her not to wear? Society, cultural norms, family rules, societal rules, right? The system. That is that. Where is that? What is that? That is what? Super ego. Are you clear? Still confusion? Tell me. I know it's confusion. Who got clarity with my this 2 sentence explanation, 6 words? Nobody got clarity, right? Hello? No response?
Clear, sir.
Okay, one only got clarity. Then rest, what about others?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
next. You see, if you have any confusion, and it's an interesting topic, it tells us, it tells you to evaluate your own mind, others also. And you go to Google and then, type these 6 words separately, or three, and then, it teaches you wonderful things, what is our human mind? 6 words, what is ego, what is superego? And there's a connection between, id and unconscious, ego and conscious, superego and subconscious. This is what psychodynamic theory is. Confused completely. Societal norms influence. So ego is positive here, in terms in Sigmund Freud's word. It's tough, I know, it's difficult, but get some information from internet. Then understand the psychodynamic theory. That determines our behavior. Unconscious pattern determinants, if you are aware of that, 3 parts, ego, superego, and conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. Then the dynamic theory, psychodynamic theory, mind will be coming to you. Analysis, you can understand it easily. You can also apply in a practical context of other person, of yourself as well. Shall we stop? It's time now. See you next class. I'll continue. It's an interesting topic. Will you do this some little work in Google, Googling this theory, ego, superego, and with examples? Just 5-10 minutes work. How many are of you ready? Tell me. To understand yourself, mind. One.
Yes,
Yes,
sir. Do it.
Yes.
Does it
Yes, sir.
seems to be interesting or not? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It's
Yes, sir.
interesting.
Yes, sir.
Because first time you are studying psychological topics, right? Since you are not, psychology student, but you have to get little interest, understand this. I know, when you talk, what comes in your mind, is the ego, super ego, and all this, right? Nevertheless, I don't taken for granted for your, evaluation purpose. I don't have proof to, evaluate your, ego, super ego process also. Okay, see you next class.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.